Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacqueline. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. Jacqueline at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, I'm Caroline Heward. Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Caroline Heward, known as the Harley Street Stress Expert. Our show today is Talking Heads. I'm an expert presenter on today's topic, which is healing the emotional body through the brow and the crown chakra. So we're looking at two chakras today. And it's part of the Eastern Mind Meets Western Body series, chakra healing series. So let's begin. So we've been looking, if you've been following this series, at the 7 major chakras, and we're now up to the brow chakra, which is the one at the forehead here, which is the purple blob. And we're also going to be looking at the crown chakra, which is at the top of the head. In this moment, we're going to be looking at the brow chakra. So you can see that this is a series and they're all interconnected. So the brow chakra is also known as the third eye, and it's the 6th chakra. So it's as it goes up from the bottom, this is the 6th chakra here. The meaning is command and perceiving. It's how we perceive the world and how we interact and move in the world from our understanding, from our own filters. The brow chakra is also known as our sixth sense. Have you ever had the experience where you've said, oh, well, I've got a sixth sense about that, I need to do that, I feel that this is the right thing to do? And it's not by logic, it's not by anything practical that you know or information or knowledge. It's just an intuitive feeling of, yes, I want to do this. This is your sixth sense. This is also your insight in terms of the way things are for you. So this is not the logical chakra. This isn't the chakra that's going to analyze and philosophize. This is the chakra that's looking in the higher realms of practicability, which is your upper sensory, your bigger sensories. So we have 5 sensories that are the physical sensories, and this is the more upper level of sensory, which is insight. This is where we can gather ourselves, and rather than looking at things from a practical space, that we can reflect on things that have happened, and we can then, from that reflection, make decisions. And they're decisions based not on what's being given to us in terms of information or knowledge. This is information from how we feel, how we've responded to circumstances, events, situations. So this is something that's very different. This is a chakra that's, you're a law unto yourself in this chakra, where you will be not coming from a book and almost not making sense to some people, because this is your sense of the world. This is where clairvoyance lives. This is where you will see things that other people might not see. Obviously, this links the mind with our outer world, with our bigger dimensional world, because everything is connected. We are in the field, and so your thoughts will be in the field. So have you ever thought about somebody, like a friend or a cousin or a relative that you've not seen for a long time, and then they call you or drop you a message? Has that ever happened to you? Well, this is where this happens, this is the fact that you are in this intuitive sense and you're literally moving out of your body into the higher realms. This transcends duality. This literally moves you into a space of pureness. So the location of the brow chakra is just sort of at the top of the bridge of the nose, in between the eyebrows here. Okay, some people actually have it a bit further up, but it's kind of just about here, in between the eyebrows, and sort of that follows the bridge of the nose, just above the brows. And the saboteur of this chakra is illusion or delusion, when we're thinking about things that aren't true. And the elements associated with chakra is light. And people might say to you, I can see you light up the room. Have you ever been in a room and somebody walks in and suddenly all eyes are on that person? They have presence. This person will be in the brow chakra, they will have presence and omnipresence. You will feel them. They will have a sense of charisma, and you won't actually be able to put your finger on what it is, but they will attract people to them. So let's look at when it's underactive and overactive, because when the brow chakra is not working properly, it will create some challenges. So when it's underactive, there will be a lack of concentration. It'll be difficult to focus on things. You'll be wandering, through the window and having 1,000 things that you're thinking about, but not actually focusing on any one particular thing. And that will create challenges in your work situation and actually getting things done to completion. This will have a challenge with how you interact with yourself and other people. So there will be a disconnection where you will feel disconnected to your body. And what I mean by that is that everything will be up here. It will all reside in the mind, up here. And when it's up in the mind, it will be very difficult for you to be feeling your body. And so you might have an expression, if you ever heard the expression, cut off from the neck down. And that is because the world resides, everything resides in the mind. Everything is here. And even though some people that have an underactive brow chakra want to experience things from a physical, sensory and pleasurable space, they will generally think, talk and analyze through things. So there will be the fear of truth, and when they're uncomfortable with the truth, that will be where the illusion resides, or the delusion. If it's overactive, you will find, if you're in this space of overanalyzing and thinking and philosophizing and politicizing, that everything kind of goes on up here. There is a lot of conversation in the mind. And so when you're in a conversation, you're already in a conversation in your mind, and the other person has no idea that you're in this conversation. And so when you're in that conversation in your mind, the other person that you're speaking to will actually be met with silence. Let me say that again. Your mind will be very busy and in conversation and thinking about lots of different things. So your mind is in an internal dialogue, an internal conversation. But what happens to the person that you're with is that they meet silence. Because while the mind is very busy internally for you, externally, you present yourself as silent. Because there's lots of activity going on, lots of thinking and analysing and philosophizing and conversation that's internal for you rather than external, then you will feel a mental exhaustion. it will be really hard for you to switch off. You'll go to bed at night and the mind is still going. It's still philosophizing, thinking about different things. And so it's really hard for you to switch out because the mind is just going. And you'll feel exhausted. And when you go to bed, it'll be very hard to sleep because the mind is still going. There's no off switch for you. There's no distraction. People with an overactive brow chakra will generally be doing one or two things at the same time. There will generally be people that have a lot of lists that they're working from because they realize that they forget things because they're juggling lots of balls, they're doing lots of different things, spinning lots of plates. And at the end of the day, they will feel physically and mentally exhausted. They'll be highly analytical and very, very intellectual. They'll intellectualize everything. And from that high level of analytical and intellectuality is that judging can come out of that. And from that place of judgment of yourself and of others and of situations. What about this? I want to do that. Why can't we do that? This doesn't seem rational. This is not reasonable. Because what happens is when you're in the mind literally logicalizes, philosophizes, analyzes, and it goes back and forward with many, many things. And because you're really in that high mental alert state, this will bring out a level of anxiety. Why would that happen? Because anxiety lives in the mind. When there's a lot of analyzing and philosophizing and your world is in your mind, that is where you reside. It doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're cooking, shopping, walking the dog, watching a movie, having a conversation on a call, even watching this presentation, you'll be analyzing what I'm saying. And that is because the mind is engaged and trying to work out what somebody is saying. And actually what happens is that you miss what's being said. You miss what's being said because while you're in an internal conversation in your mind, it is not possible to hear the person speaking. So here's some symptoms of imbalance. So when the mind is real busy and there's lots going on, your head literally aches with the thoughts. So you get a headache because there's so much going on up here. There's so much activity up in the mind that the thoughts dominate your experience. And this can lead to headaches and, in severe cases, migraine. Now, migraine is a place where when people get migraine, the only way to get rid of a migraine is to go into a dark room, close the curtains, turn off all the lights, and close your eyes. And that is some people's mechanism for taking time out, for taking space so that they can be themselves. So they literally use this strategy to rest. And that is because the mind cannot cope with any more. When you're sleeping at night, this will lead, because the mind is still active, this can lead to the teeth being grinded. This is a very common complaint with people that have what I would call a busy mind, where the mind is full of thoughts and never switches out. Tinnitus, which is a ringing in the ear, so lots of sound in the ear. So can you see that everything is up here? Everything is going on from the neck upwards. This can also affect the eyes, so things like cataract, infection, eye infections, and bags and dark circles under the eyes. This can affect your sight in terms of colour blindness, And this will also affect, because it's up here, the ears. So blocked ears and ear infections. So when the brow chakra has an imbalance, these are very common things, cataracts, eye infections, tinnitus. These are very, very common symptoms that people have. And this is related to there being too much energy, not enough energy. And essentially, this is where, what is it we don't want to see? If we don't want to see something, then we have a challenge in allowing ourselves to see. So this is how these types of symptoms will come about, because we don't want to see something. We don't want to hear something. And the mind is ruling our ship. The mind is your compass. When we're born, we're not born in that space. We're born goo goo and gaga with no mind, no thoughts. We are sensory, extraordinarily sensory beings. And when we go into thought and into a lot of conversation in the mind, that's where we live, and we literally depress the experiences of life through our sensory physical experiences. So some of the challenge is that we will become dominating, because the conversation is really in the mind. So we'll become very, very dominating in conversation, in experiences. We will be larger than life and almost have the experience of needing to take over. There will be, for some, a lack of taking responsibility or ownership. So knowing that you have to do something, but being preoccupied with other things that you're feeling are more important. So you have attention perhaps in the business situation, but not in your personal life. You will be, some of the challenges that occur is that you will be very self-absorbed. So everything is going on inside, internally to you, because the mind is so busy. Everything is going on up here, and there is no space for anyone to come in. There's no space because this is really full. And that's why there's a challenge to take on new ideas, because you literally have to empty the mind of the thinking that's going on, that's filling the mind. And this is what can cause brain fog, mind fog, that, the mind is just literally running to its capacity. And because there's so much happening up here, you will have problems with concentrating on any one thing, because that internal dialogue is taking over. So that will lead to mental confusion. And so even though you're speaking to somebody, you will give them all the right answers, but you won't remember, because you will have that disability of being so full in the mind that it's hard to then move forward with the other person, because you will forget. You can't keep it all in the mind. So when the mind is full, how can you put more stuff into the mind to take action and move forward? So this is where challenges of fear and anxiety reside, because when the mind is here, this is where anxiety lives, up here. And this is where the depressive moods reside as well. Because when we're in a state of depression or anxiety, they are not sensory. It's where everything is too much, and we're not being in our sensories, in our physical sensories. Everything is too much because we're up here, and the mind can't cope with too much. So it brings in fears, anxieties that are probably not real in the physical world. But because you're in the mind, and the mind is dominating and ruling your ship, that creates your own personal challenges of being able to come out of the mind and live in a sensory experience. So I'd like to give you some affirmations which will help you to move through this very heavy mind situation that you might be experiencing in life. Is that I trust my intuition. You know, sometimes I live in London and I see the umbrella and I look at it saying, oh, I better take that. And then the voice says, nah, you don't need it. That's going to weigh in your bag. You know, you'll get away with it. And then when I'm coming home from my meeting, have a guess what? It's raining. And I really get quite annoyed when that happens. And it's because I knew I needed to take the umbrella. Like something pops up, you know, it's like a sixth sense, you know, you get like a feeling, you know, I'll do that. And then you dismiss it. So to affirm that you trust your intuition, it comes from nowhere. It comes from no practical knowledge. It almost comes from no sense. It comes from sixth sense. So there's no sense in the intuition. It comes from your sixth sense, your inner knowing. I trust my intuition. I can manifest my vision. This is a manifesting chakra. So what you think about, you can actually bring about. So be careful what you think about, because if you're thinking about pain, if you're thinking about stress, depression, many issues, you will create more of what you're thinking about. So be careful what you think about. So create what you want in your life. I can create. I can manifest my vision. I am in touch with my inner guidance. This is not logical. The brow chakra is about your intuition, and it's your inner guide, and it's always there. And we'll all have that. It doesn't matter how underactive or overactive the brow chakra is. We all have that inner guidance, that gut feel, some of us call it. But this is above the gut. This is up here in the brow. We're now going to move on to the crown chakra. And the crown chakra, it's at the top of the head, sort of in the crown area, in the center of the head. This is Sanskrit is Sahasrara, and its function is by consciousness. It gives you an access to the higher states of consciousness. So this is where everything, it's not about me anymore. It's about the fact that we are all connected. Everything is there for us to experience. Everything is. We're not isolated and alone. Everything is connected. The crown chakra, Sahasrara, means 1,000-petaled. So 1,000 petals, 1,000-fold. So many, many ways to do something. And it's depicted with a lotus flower. This is our connection to spirituality, our spiritual interconnection. And this is the place we can transform everything and anything. This is the top level manifesting chakra. This is where we are connected to the universe, to the one, whatever you want to call it. We are connected to the divine. So this is the crown chakra is at the top of the head, and the gland associated with the crown chakra is the pineal gland. It is the bridge to the cosmos and the gateway to the universe, not just our universe, but the universe, everything. We are interconnected. And when we're closed off, when we're blocked in the crown chakra, what happens is we have an attachment to things, to physical things, emotional things, people, things, situations, circumstances. So the saboteur is attachment. if you find that you're attached to a situation being a certain way, or a person being in your life, or your home, things around you, this is where we become very materialistic. If you have any attachments, this will block. So this will literally cut you off here and not allow whatever can come in to come in. The element is thought. So whatever we think, we can create. Now this is a beautiful chakra to be in because it is a sacred truth. It is our perfection. And if you look at babies, there is a purity in their perfection. So this chakra is all about being present, being in the moment of the moment that you are living in. And many times we are not in the moment because we are in a past moment or a future moment. This chakra, when it works really, really well, this is about you being totally present in this moment of this second, in this space. This is where the magic happens. This is the magical chakra because it's not about just you. This is your connection to everything and everyone. This is your connection to the universe, the divine. The color associated with the chakra is white. It's violet, but it actually encompasses all colors. So white is the color that encompasses all colors. So you'll probably notice as we've been going through the chakras that the 7 colors are actually the colors of the rainbow. There is no accident about this. So this chakra is, when you're wearing white, that's the color of all chakras, of everything coming together. So when the chakra is underactive, so when it's not working properly, there will be a feeling of a lack of inspiration. And if you're looking for something to come from somewhere, and if it's underactive, you don't get it. You know, the people that are writers, for instance, will be sitting at the screen wanting inspiration and not finding it. Musicians are really good because they're bringing up their inspiration from their music, from composing, so they can go and write something and it just comes to them because it's not come from the physical space, it's come from up here, it's come down into them. So it's being channeled down into their body rather than the experience of bringing it up through the body. The chakra, if you look at the word inspiration, if you break it down, it's in spirit, because we are not of body, we are actually not of mind, we are of spirit. And this is where inspiration comes from, in spirit. If it's underactive, there will be a level of greed, of keeping things to you, trying to get whatever you need because there's a fear, a scarcity. And in that scarcity, you will move to hold on to things, to keep things to you, so you don't lose things. This will create a very materialistic expression in your everyday life, that things will be in your domain, things, people, situations. And so your home will be full of maybe the latest gadget. Maybe you'll have a home cinema, you know, with all sorts of things, because we can buy things. We can't buy experiences. And so when there is somebody that has that space of being in this overactive crown chakra, there will be a feeling of a lack of expression of their expression of desire, of movement in terms of the fun, the spontaneity. And so they'll get their fix from a materialistic level of experience in their lives. So they'll be holding on to things, bringing more things into their space. Then will, because there's such a level of conversation in the mind, because the brow and the crown are very interconnected, there will be mental fog. So many thoughts that it's really difficult to concentrate. Let's look at being overactive. If it's overactive, you will feel a total disconnection with everything and everyone, because everything's up here. So it's very similar to the brow chakra, which is why I've done them together, because you will see that there's many common things with the brow and the crown chakra. And so you will feel, as in the brow chakra, cut off from the neck down. So everything for you will reside here in the mind. Everything will be what you think about, what you converse about, what you politicize, what you philosophize about. Everything is going on in the mind. And so there will be a lack of connection in your relationships, in your personal relationships, in your family, your intimacy, and in your social experiences. Work will be amazing, because there is that disconnection of the emotions and feelings and the more physical sensory experiences. Work will be incredible. You will be a superstar. You will be that go-to person, which will create an elitism of your experience of life. You will be the superstar in doing everything and getting everything done, the go-to person. You will have incredible results, which will make you almost untouchable. People will come to you expecting you to have the answers. In that elitism and that superiority of being that superstar with those incredible results, it will lead to a lack of empathy and a disconnection in your personal life. I don't just mean the intimacy and the intimate part. I mean in your personal life, your family, your friends, your extended family, the situations in your personal life. Work will be amazing. If you even go into the social space in your work, that will also create challenges for you, because you will do well in your working situations, but find it very, very difficult to interact in that personal space, that emotion and feeling space. So let's look at some symptoms of an imbalance in the crown chakra. So there'll be neurological disorders, there'll be mental disorders such as schizophrenia. And this is because it's so open, that schizophrenia is that you hear voices. So you're so open here that you're hearing everything. And you haven't got the ability to switch out. And this can drive somebody literally insane. And it's only because it's an imbalanced crown chakra. And it's because you're living up here in the mind rather than being in the physical sensory experiences of the lower chakras. And when you're not in the lower chakras, when you're not balanced in the base chakra and the sexual chakra, when you're not balanced in those areas, this can lead to everything being in the mind and creating an over-analyzing and overthinking. This can also lead to Alzheimer's disease, which is where the mind literally quits. And so memory becomes a problem and learning difficulties. This will create nerve pain. And what I mean by that is nerve pain anywhere in the body, not just up here. This can be nerve pain in the neck and the spine, where all the nerve endings are. In the joints, there can be nerve pain, like sciatica is a nerve pain. So the nerve pain is because there is an imbalance in the physical body. And it probably be because you are up here. You will get, for some, recurring headaches and worst case scenario, migraines. And there will be a tendency to be emotionally imbalanced. You will feel that disconnect, not able to connect with the other person emotionally. So when you go home, so work will be amazing. You'll have that super stardom, that super experience of everything being great and getting the fantastic results. But then when you go into your personal life, it doesn't work. Somehow it's chaos for you. And they might turn around and say something like, oh, you don't love me, you don't listen to me. And that is because when you're listening to them, you're listening from the place of analysing the problem, looking for the problem for you to solve. Because that's how the superstar will operate in your working environment. So this will make incredible project managers, incredible bankers, traders, stockbrokers, actuaries, and all sorts of, very mentally alert type work. This will make you absolutely amazingly brilliant in your working situation. But when you go into your personal life, your personal situation, this will give you an inability to create that emotional connection. So it's like you have everything, the superstardom, you have the money, the fame, the socialite status, but then there is a lack of feeling of what is this all about? Because there will be that disconnect, a feeling of not having everything that you want. You have everything but feel nothing. And this is the conundrum of the imbalances of the crown chakra, that on the outside of you, you will look very successful, but on the inside, when we're not connected to the emotions and the pleasure, the divineness in us, it creates problems in terms of your emotional connection, not only with others, but with yourself. You'll feel that everything happens up here. And because if everything happens up in the mind, they will feel like there's no experience of desire, of pleasure, of that fun, that spontaneity, that childlikeness, because everything becomes very serious. And the mind, when it doesn't switch off, can cause severe exhaustion. And it's hard work. One of my common phrases is, you'll fight your way out of a paper bag. You literally analyse everything to death. But this isn't living, this is existing. When you're analysing everything to death. And you will recognise that in your expression in your life, because it's something that's comfortable. And when we shut down the feelings and emotions, because things have happened that have been difficult, the escape route is the mind. So to be up here. But when you are attached to things, this closes it down and creates these awful imbalances in life where you have everything and feel nothing. A uselessness, an unworthiness of experiencing in life. So some of the challenges that come through this chakra is a level of overwhelm, because everything is going on up here and you will feel overwhelmed with the conversation and the mind activity. There will be an inability to deal with life's trials and tribulations. When things happen, it's like you can't cope with another thing. Things will just be too much for your system to cope with, which is why there's an escape into conversation. This will create, because if you're materialistic, it will create a hoarding situation where you're collecting things. You will have a lot of things because you're not getting the experiences that you crave, the desire, the pleasure in life. And so it's things that make you feel good. And in that space of hoarding, there will be a difficulty in letting go and allowing things to be, because we're holding on to a friendship, a relationship that's not working, when we're holding on because we don't know what's on the other side of it. So we hold on for dear life because we don't want to lose anything. And this is the attachment. When we're attached to things, we're holding on to everything because we don't feel stable. We don't know what's on the other side of letting go. This will make us controlling on the outside. And let me just look at this in a little bit more detail. In your external world, people will see you as very controlling. But actually, this is because there is a feeling deep inside of you, which you don't show to people, that you don't feel in control. And that not feeling in control creates a persistence for you to seek more control. But out of that seeking more control, this will create havoc in your professional life and your personal life, because you will be seen as trying to control every situation, every event, circumstance, how it has to happen. It's because you're not controlling at all. You're feeling a deeper level of lack of control, which is why you over-intellectualize things to gain control, because you don't feel in control of your situations, whether it be in your business or your personal life. And so the aspect of the strategy for many people in this situation is that they will seek places where they are in control. And so a lot of people will go into doing more work situations, more projects, even outside of work, voluntary and paid work. They'll be doing more things to gain that level of control. So the crown chakra, affirmations of the crown chakra is, I am open and listen to the divine wisdom of the universe. I am open because we're all interconnected. I am open and listen to the divine wisdom of the universe. I honor the divine within me. This is the practice of Namaste. The divine in me meets the divine in you. Namaste. I am at peace. That level of inner peace is because there is an understanding, a complete awareness that everything is and always will be. Everything is you, and you are everything, and you are connected to everything and everyone. Thank you for your attention and your interest. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is USA Global TV and Radio. You can find all of our Talking Heads episodes under the playlist titled Talking Heads 2022. You can find this chakra series, Eastern Mind Meets Western Body, which is a series of 6 under my name, Caroline Heward, in Talking Heads 2022. Please do reach out to me if I can be of service to you. You can contact me on the details here, nomorestress@live.co.uk, or call if you're international, +44 0 if you're local, 07523 120 189. I offer a free consultation either on Zoom, Skype, or by call. And I offer a very, very incredible insight in terms of obliterating your stress, busting your stress. It has been my pleasure to deliver this chakra, the crown and the brow chakra. I do hope it's been helpful to you, because in a state of awareness, yes, in a state of awareness, we can then find solution. And that is the first part of our healing journey. Please come back. I'll be back next week with more. Goodbye.